teacher, Miss Jihan Simon, and today we are going to be talking about section 2 from lesson 2, which is using a pedigree. Alleles can sometimes recombine to produce traits that are not favorable, such as a genetic disease. One of these examples is sickle cell anemia, where your red blood cells have a different shape from normal blood cells. They look like sickle cells. This is where the name comes from. Geneticists, who are people who study genes, study how traits are inherited in order to trace their genetic origin and predict how they may be passed on to future generations. They use this tool, a pedigree, to map out the inheritance of traits. In this case, and in all pedigree tools, males are going to be represented as squares, females are going to be represented as circles. Those lines that you see there connect the offsprings. And for traits, we are going to use shades. For example, number 5 is a shaded circle, and this means that this female expresses a trait. In other cases, we are going to use half-shaded images. This means the person, in this case, third generation of a female, she carries a trait but does not express it. It means if she has a disease, she is going to carry the gene, but she is not going to have any symptoms. And the Roman numerals, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3 to your left from the pedigree tool, those are the generations. So in this case, 1 and 2, the square and the circle, are a mom and a dad. Those are first generations. Then they had offsprings, and you can see how they had males and females. So they have 2 females because they are 2 circles, 3 and 5, and 1 male, which is number 1 from generation 2. Those people got married to other people, and you can see in generation 3, for example, how they had 2 males and 1 female. 1 female carries the traits. The diagram shows the presence or absence of a trait according to the relationships within a family across several generations. This is like a family tree. So for example, in the sickle cell anemia, we have in our first generation 2 half-shaded bodies. One is a male and the other one is a female. They got married and had 4 offsprings. If you can remember from lesson 1, this is exactly the same as Punnet's square. So in the first generation, we can see that one of the parents is expressing the trait and the other parent is only, it does not express the trait. It is only carrying the trait. That is the right image. So when they have offsprings, one of the offspring is going to express the trait. The other one is going to carry the trait. The other offspring has combined traits, and this is the offspring that expresses the disease, the sickle cell anemia, and one of the offspring has none. They don't even express it or they carry the disease. Forming sex cells. It is through the sex cells that parents pass their genes on to their offspring. When the sperm and egg fuse, they form a zygote, or fertilized egg. The zygote gets two sets of chromosomes, one set from the sperm and one set from the egg. In this picture, you can see how your mother and father have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. So both of them have to go through meiosis, and this cuts the chromosomes in half. So they will form sex cells. We are going to see this a little bit further, but for now, you have to know that each set of chromosome of sex cells is going to pass on 23 chromosomes, half of what a human has. When it fertilizes, then those 23 chromosomes are going to get together with the other parent's 23 chromosomes, and they are going to form a zygote. Sex cells are formed through a very specialized process called meiosis. This process is in which the number of chromosomes is reduced by half. Before the chromosomes separate and move into separate cells, they undergo a process called crossing over. So in figure 5 from your book, you are going to see this image in which during crossing over, a segment of the gene from the mother changes places with the segment of the same gene from the father. In your book, please circle the gene segments that exchange places. This is an animation of how crossing over occurs. By exchanging this genetic information, the new cells that form will have a slightly different combination of genes. This allows for minor variations in traits to form, which means there is a higher likelihood that offspring with desirable traits will form within the larger population. Okay guys, so your homework is to complete all the activities from this section, take a picture and upload those images into your Google Classroom that I have created for you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this class, and we are going to watch another video for section 3 about meiosis and mitosis. Thank you and have a great day.